Hey folks, how's it going? Curious UK here. So one claim I often hear from flat earthers is to say that gravity cannot affect gases and that a gas will expand to fill the available container. So this is often how they try to claim that we have to have a magical dome over top of their flat non-rotating earth. And that so you have to have gas pressure within this. It has to be a sealed container or else the gas will escape. Now I've proven this a few different ways. I've used carbon monoxide inside of a jar in which I can contain it in there without being sealed, and I can use up all the oxygen inside, obviously still having carbon dioxide, and then move it over to the another candle and put the candle up because I'm still containing, it's not sealed container. But yeah, I can still, because of it being lighter than air and having the buoyancy, and buoyancy is actually, you need gravity and downward vector to help with the buoyant force going up, held it in there. I've also showed a few other different ways of proving this. I've got a few different videos on my channel showing, demonstrating gravity and how to isolate gravity and stuff like that. Just like home things you can do. Now there's another one here I've done here just to kind of show, but it's kind of the opposite of the carbon dioxide thing. And this is using butane gas. And so because it's heavier in the air, it is affected more by the gravitational pull of the earth, and it will sit in a lower area. So it'll sit lower on the ground. And if you have something like a divot or something in the ground, it will actually sit in there. And this is sometimes where it can be kind of dangerous because it can sit and pool in certain areas. Any part that's lower, then it is a flammable gas. So let's show you a little demonstration here. I'm just going to use obviously a cup because it needs to sit in something like that, but it's not sealed or anything like that. Now remember, flat earthers claim that gas will expand to fill available container, being that if it's in there, if it's open to the atmosphere, it should expand out and just kind of dissipate because it's not a sealed container. So let's have a look at a little experiment. Okay, so let's get started here. We have an open container, a cup here, and as I said, butane gas will sit in a lower area. So not sealed. This is butane gas on there. Put it in there. There's no liquid came out. You can see it's simply just butane gas. It's in there and it's not a sealed container. Now, because it's flammable, just to show that the gas is still in there after this time, we're going to light it on fire. And as you can see, the gas is in there and it burns off. Now I'm going to do it once more here and show there's nothing inside this cup. There's no other liquids, flammable liquids, things like that. So it's not sealed. So once again, the same gas. I'm going to put the gas in there. And this time I'm going to take a little bit longer, just in case anybody thinks that if I left it longer it would dissipate. So I'm going to take a little bit of time, show there's no liquid, there's nothing in there. It's just simply the gas that's in there, and it's not a sealed container. So I'll take a little bit of time here, get my match. As you can see, the gas is still staying in there. And I'm going to do a bit of a countdown here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, all this time. Now if it should dissipate, it would have dissipated, but the gas is still in there, and that's due to gravitational effects. And this just to show there's no liquid or anything in there. So now what was holding the gas into that cup? Because if it's a gas, and according to flat earthers, it should have dissipated off into the atmosphere, off into the air around it, stuff like that. Even when I did it the second time and left it longer, the gas was still in there. Now what was holding it in there was simply the gravitational effects of the earth. And you could say it's buoyancy. And buoyancy requires the downward vector, being the gravitational pull of the earth. It can't be density because density has no vector. That density is not a force. And if it was density, then it would not have wanted to move towards the lesser dense medium, which would have been up, because as we go up in altitude, the air gets denser. And you can even measure this within your own house, especially if a two-story house. I have a video in which I've done that myself, my own house. in which I was able to get most mobile phones nowadays. They have a density meter within them, a way of being able to measure it. You can download an app and you can measure the density inside your house, the atmospheric density, and you can go up a level, and the higher you go up, you can see that the millibars drop off. So if it was density and flerf is claiming that it should move to lesser dense medium, then that gas should have started to move up, but it didn't. And that's down to the fact that density is not a force, like I said before. And if you want to invoke buoyancy, buoyancy requires gravity. Gravity is in the calculations to calculate for buoyancy, if like a boat's going to float or an object's going to float in any kind of medium, being a liquid, gas, or anything else. So is it down to buoyancy? Yes, because there's a heavier gas that sits down in that cup, and that's down to the gravitational effect, and then it pushes the air up, or atmosphere up higher, and it sits down lower, buoyancy, gravity. So there you go. This shows that a simple little test could use, depending on the gases you have, you can actually prove that gravity does in fact affect the gases on our planet, and it can pull down and holds the gas for not moving. The only time I got the butane out is when, because butane is highly volatile, and even though it'll sit in there, as soon as I apply a flame to it, then it does actually light on fire, and then it burns off. Then you use a chemical reaction, in which then it does dissipate because on flames, and then burning it off, and then you're causing that, you're changing the structure of the gas. Using chemical reaction, applying heat to it. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to follow me for more videos. Remember, the Earth's a globe, definitely not flat. Space is real. And remember, people, stay curious. Thanks for watching.
Stuff like that's why people quit flat Earth, dude. That's why people quit, dude.